Hey guys, Mike here. In this video, I'm going to explain the problem with the High Priest class. There's one fundamental problem with the High Priest class, and that is that it can never achieve the optimal efficiency for a given turn. So what do I mean by that? The most optimal thing a unit can do on player phase is to kill a unit. Just straight up kill a unit. There's nothing more that a unit can do on that turn, right? Ignore emblems for a second, ignore Overdrive or Great Ether or any of those AoE effect emblems in terms of damage. Yes, we know those can do, can kill multiple units, but ignoring emblems, the most optimal thing that a unit can do is kill one enemy unit. That is the most optimal thing that they can do. Now, a suboptimal thing is like if the unit is weaker, then they can just chip the enemy and then have a ally unit come in and finish the unit, right? And that's not optimal because you're using two moves to kill one unit, right? That's literally 50% efficiency, right? So how does this relate to the High Priest? So the issue with the High Priest is this right here: B tomes and Beefists. Now, that's not good, especially endgame, because B tomes means all you can do is L fire and L wind. And the issue with L fire and L wind is that the might on those tomes is just too low, especially for endgame. Like we can go here, L fire 11 might, and if we go to just an unupgraded Boganone, 16 might, and you can see that's 5 more might than L fire. To put it in perspective, like you can get a max upgrade on a weapon that upgrades each level with might +1, +2, +3, +4, +5, and that would equal +5 might. And L-Fire is basically like a +5 Boganone, approximately. So because you're a High Priest and you're stuck at L-Fire, which is your highest might compared to Boganone, it's just your damage is just not going to be comparable to a Sage or a Mage Knight. And that's an issue because, again, it goes back to that one move efficiency criteria, right? Because with L-Fire, there's no way you're going to kill a unit in a single hit. Like even if you had high speed, even if you could reliably double a lot of units, your magic just wouldn't be high enough combined with L-Fire to kill a unit in 2 hits in a single round of combat. So that's the first issue. And the second issue is fists, Beefist. Beefist you can only use steel, silver, shielding, and flashing fist. So, silver is pretty good. Like, it's a little bit better than steel, but the issue with silver spirit art is you can't upgrade it. Or it's very expensive to upgrade. Like, it's not even worth upgrading. And the issue with steel is the might is just too low, right? So if you want to start punching things with this, you kind of want to use flashing fist art. I think there's one more art that's better than this. You could also use that one as well. So you're stuck at this. And again, it goes back to the same issue. If you're just going to use a weaker art with lower might, then you're not killing the unit. At best, you're just chipping them and breaking the enemy. Like if they're a bow user or a major, you're just breaking them so that another enemy can come in and finish them off, right? So it just goes back to that 2 turns to kill one unit issue. And then the last thing is staves, right? Okay, so you get S staves right here. Now, is that good? Not really, because for the supportive staves like healing or obstruct or rescue, those, you only need like B staves to use recover, and you need B staves to use rescue, I believe. We can double check that. Right, so B staves to use rescue. Now, as long as you use like a sage, like Citrine here, who's my sage, she has B staves right here, we can see. So she can reliably use those supportive staves like rescue and anything weaker than that, right? But if you're going to use like a Royal Knight, even Royal Knight has B staves. I think Griffin Knight has C staves, so they're only stuck to like obstruct and heal, right? So C staves here. But your Griffin Knight, you want them attacking. You don't really want them to heal. They're more of like a healing backup, just in case of an emergency. So the big selling point with High Priest is S staves, right? And the highest staff is Entrap, which is A staves. I think there may be like a DLC stave that's an S stave that refills the engage meter for your whole team, but I've never actually used that staff before, and even if you get it, it's probably endgame or something like that. But so that's actually pretty good. But like for the large majority of the game, you're not using that staff, and like even in Trap, you're not really getting until the end game, right? So the issue is you're going through a lot of the early game and the mid game and even starting getting into the end game where you have this S staves, but it's not really doing anything. You know, you can just get fine with rescue and recover and all your healing staves and all your support staves, and you don't really need S staves. All you really need is B staves, right? That pretty much means there's no benefits to using a High Priest, right? So B tomes, S staves, Beefists are just not, they're not helping you, right? They're in fact limiting you because you're not getting that one-hit KO efficiency with a High Priest. And right, and even if you wanted to use an entrap stave or a silent stave or a freeze staff, you know, just these offensive staves, it doesn't kill the unit, right? Because you're still spending 2 moves to attack an enemy with them, right? So if you use the entrap staff, for example, you're entrapping them, so you're teleporting the enemy to you, but then another unit still has to come in and finish off that unit, right? So it's still at that 2 move efficiency, which is not efficient. Same thing with freeze staff. Like, you know, you freeze the enemy that you're not able to kill on player phase, but then you still have to wait to the next player phase to actually kill them. So it's still a 2-turn inefficient manner, right? And you know, granted, these are good like in emergencies, like if shit hits the fan and you just need to freeze someone to just make sure that they don't attack next turn. Yeah, that's pretty good, especially if you can freeze bosses and stuff. But in terms of efficiency, it just comes back down to efficiency, where the High Priest is not offering any efficient options. Now, you could argue, okay, well, you can put Micaiah to expand the staff range. So, like, instead of freezing just 1 unit, you can freeze up to 5 units. And that's pretty good, but again, has nothing to do with High Priest. That's the power of Micaiah, not really High Priest. Just the combination of all these reasons are why I would not recommend High Priest if you're trying to do optimal things. If you're gonna use like warp strats and just all kinds of advanced level staff techniques, all you need is Micaiah. You don't even really need the High Priest class. And another option too is the Martial Master. Martial Master has A staves, so the Martial Master can actually use entrap staff and all of those staffs of A rank and below. So yeah, in summary, the lack of magical output damage with the High Priest, you know, being stuck at Elfire and being limited to magic speedster roll only, and if your unit doesn't get speed, then you can kiss that, roll goodbye, and they're just going to be demoted to magic backup at that point. The staves, again, do not offer any turn efficiency because it still requires 2 turns to actually kill a unit, especially if you're using offensive staves. And then fists are just mid as hell, or even worse than mid. So yeah, that's my take on High Priest. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, I've used High Priest this whole playthrough, so it did not impress me. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think in the comments, and hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.